Hi everyone, can you hear me? I hope that you can, yeah? You could confirm that in chat box, it would be great, yeah? Because then we could start this webinar, yeah? I hope that you are doing well today. You can write me how was your day or maybe how your day is, yeah? Because it's really interesting. Hi Teresa, it's really nice to see you here. Yeah, so everything is audible. Can you hear me properly? Hi Alicia, hi. Okay, so if everything is okay, we'll start because earlier we start, then earlier probably will finish this topic. I mean, not for sure, but that's the general idea. Hi, Cornelia. Yeah, it's nice to see you all here. Of course, first, I will start from introduction. So I am Tom, and I am teacher of English in general. Mostly of English, maybe in the future of Japanese or German. Yeah, I would rather prefer to teach more languages than only one in the future. This is like my dream. So it's about me mostly. So I'm more like a linguist or something like that, some sort of linguist. Because still I know only like 4 languages, so it's not so many. There are linguists that know more. Yeah. But maybe in the future, yeah, we still got time, and it's never too late to start something new, like especially a language. Okay, great. So today, what's the topic of today's webinar? Today we're gonna talk about past continuous, if I remember correctly, because like 1 minute ago or something around that, I was preparing, let's say, yeah, it's a good use of this tense, yeah? I was preparing for you, for the next week, future tenses, yeah? So it's easy, let's say, to mix these two, really. Sometimes it's very easy to mix these two, but I will come back to it maybe later or maybe next week. So today we're gonna focus on past continuous. I will explain to you how we use it. I mean, this tense in what let's say situations and what occasions, and how to use properly, so that in the future it will be much easier for you to tell stories or just use it in let's say natural context. Yeah, so I hope that after this webinar it will be clear. So we'll cover it. I will tell you how to use it. We'll have some examples of it and exercises, of course, that you will do so that you can improve your knowledge. And yeah, without practice there is nothing, because theory is only theory, and without that we cannot practice enough. Yeah. Okay, and what's really important, this webinar will take around 25 minutes, I suppose, and at the end there are 2 poll questions. Yeah, these kind of questions help me to develop. Yeah. And what else? There is Q&A session at the end. Q&A session, so during which you can ask me any question that, let's say, remained unanswered, or anything, about anything. You can ask me about my life. Yeah, I am quite open during Q&A session for questions in general. Okay, great. So I think that we can start. Hello to everyone who just arrived and who joined us here. It's really nice to see you all here today. Okay, so let's start. Yeah, let's start this content, this webinar. So today we've got past continuous. Yeah. So as you can see, we've got here 2 pictures. For some of you, maybe some of you already seen this webinar, but I always try, to come up with new sentences or structures so that it's a bit easier for you to understand later. So let's say we've got the first situation. Yeah, the first situation. So let's say that yesterday I was drinking and having fun with my friends. And the second one, you can also use the same more or less sentence for the next one, yeah? Because we see here some glasses of wine, yeah? So, for example, maybe yesterday, because in that case, so it's not working properly, yeah? I will move on with the content. If this situation gonna happen for a longer time, we gonna restart. I really encourage you to restart this webinar if something happens, if it's not gonna be better, then I'm gonna, let's say, use some other source. Maybe it's let's say from my part. Then I will try to do something with that. So all of you got the same problem, yeah? All of you got the same problem. Because if you've got the same problem, maybe it's better now. Is better or it's still the same? Okay, so if it's better now, I think that we can move on. So here you've got the examples I mentioned before. Yeah, so the first one, Tom was dancing at a party. Yeah, so Tom was dancing at the party is the first example. So we've got these people, let's say, dancing. It is totally in the past, but continuous action. Yeah, continuous action. And about the second one, yeah, okay, let me interrupt. So if something happens again, you can still refresh or something like that, and probably it will work better, yeah? You can still refresh this web or something like that. Okay, and the second example, people were drinking and so on. So they were drinking, singing, and having great fun, yeah? So it's like continuous action in the past totally. So yeah, so it's just a general idea of it. So let's look into the structure, yeah, how it's structured. So we've got the subject, then we've got was, yeah, or were, depending on the subject, yeah. So we've got was for the first, so for I, and she, he, and it, yeah. For the rest, you've got were. And then we've got verb plus ing. If you know present continuous very well, it's only important that we need to change to be form into the past form. So instead of is, are, and am, we use was and were. And you've got this tense. Yeah, that's the only thing. So if you know present continuous very well, you just need to change to be form into the past. So instead of is, am, are, you've got was and were. So I was learning instead of I am learning. I was learning. It's the only change. And the same with questions. Instead of are you learning, you use were you learning. Yeah, were you? So we change only to be form to the past form. Yeah, so this is in general how we let's say make let's say past continuous. So it's not so challenging if you know present continuous very well. Okay. Here you've got the third subject, so she. So as I said, it's always with was, yeah? She, he, and it, it's always with was, and then thinking and so on is the same, yeah? Here we've got some example. She was thinking about him, really? Was he thinking about her? Unfortunately, he wasn't, yeah? So for continuous action, so something that was in progress, but in the past, yeah? But in the past, something was in progress, but in the past. Yeah, exactly. So the structure is more or less the same as present continuous, but the only difference is that you need to use, instead of to be forms, are, am, and is, you have to use was and were. This is the only difference. And usage is different. Okay, and as you can see, we use this tense when we talk about some actions, yeah, in progress, yeah, something was happening in progress at a stated time in the past. So, for example, yesterday at 4, yeah, I was preparing for this webinar, yeah, or let's say at midnight, it can be still yesterday or 2 days ago, I was singing, yeah? It's something in action, but it should be specific time in the past, yeah? This is the difference. Okay, I hope that connection is better now. If you've got still some problems, please write to me, yeah? Whether there's still some problems with connection, I hope that it's much better now. And hello to those of you who just, let's say, entered or joined this webinar. Okay, and here you can see some examples, yeah? So as I said, specific time in the past. So at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, specific time. What were they doing? They were sitting, they were sitting at the outdoor cafe, and at midnight, we were still driving through the desert. So you got the picture before. There is some kind of car, there is desert. So at midnight, and they were driving through the desert. That's the general idea. Specific time, but in the past and in progress. So you just give like specific hour, for example, but it was just in progress. It's not so complicated tense in general. Okay, so right now it's time for you to practice it a bit, the structure for sure. And here also you've got expressions that will tell you that it should be past continuous. So yesterday at 3 o'clock, specific time in the past, what were you doing? What were you doing? What were you doing yesterday at 3 o'clock? So it's the first one. Oh my God, at 3 o'clock, I mean, it was probably PM. So working, I was meeting with my friend. I was sitting at school or in school. I was working in my office. Okay, so I see that everyone was busy then. In this specific moment in the past. Exactly. And what about the second sentence? What? Oh, Cornelia, you're a teacher. What you said me probably. I mean, you told me about that before. I don't remember what kind of teacher of Polish. Am I right? Yeah. I was working in my office at home. I was having dinner then. I remember correctly. Great. So I was eating dinner. I was working office. Okay. I was reading a book. I was reading a book. Great. And what about the Frank? If you could give me the answer for the second sentence. We also got specific time, like at 6 o'clock and last night. So it's past. Specific time, so hour, and in the past. So we've got this phrase. Frank wasn't sitting in the living room at 6 o'clock last night. Okay, we've got the first answer. I'm not gonna tell you whether it's correct until I get more answers. So wasn't sitting. So I think that so many correct answers is some kind of confirmation. So I don't need to clarify that it was correct. So here you've got my answer. I was learning Japanese probably because I do it quite frequently. And Frank wasn't sitting in the living room. So you answered all correctly. Great. And the second use of this tense is about, in general, when you use past tenses, we talk about, what I mean. For example, you want to tell a story, like what happened in your life, or I don't know, about your friends, that something amazing happened in the past, or maybe ghost story, or something like that. Then we very often use past simple and past continuous. Past continuous is used for the action that was done was still in progress. For activities in progress. But sometimes also for background events. So something that is happening in the background. So for example, birds were chirping, or birds were singing, or there were people talking and everything, and I didn't know what to do. And then suddenly something serious happened, and many people around to do so. I felt for background events we use very often past continuous. So here you can see examples. So Todd and Emily riding through the physical element of the story. So action in progress. and the sun was shining, the birds were singing. Yeah, so it's like background events, more or less, or just actions in progress, but very often used in stories when we just tell a story. Yeah, I love it. I mean, in general, I very often use, and very often we use past simple together with past continuous. So for example, I was singing yeah, when my mother came in and told me to stop. Yeah, this is just the idea. Okay, and here it's time for you, and try to put here the right forms of verbs, yeah, so that this story makes sense. Yeah, so I am waiting for answers one by one. Yeah, one by one. So what should be in the first gap? It's still some part of a story. Yeah, it's part of a story. So she was looking in this case for her baby. Yeah, why here is for? Maybe there should be rather after. Yeah, maybe there should be after. Tom, you're right, because I don't know, maybe she lost her child, but in this context rather it should be a look after. Yeah, so she was looking for or after her baby, and she didn't notice the hunter. Rather after should be here. Didn't notice the hunter who was watching, exactly, Cornelia, who was watching her through his binoculars. Yeah, binoculars. You know what is binoculars. Yeah. Okay, and when the shot rang out, she was running toward the river. Exactly. So we use, let's say, in general, past continuous for actions in progress, and when we tell stories, yeah, and they're very often interrupted, let's say by short moments that are in the past simple completely. Yeah, like the birds were singing and so on, and suddenly something happened. The hunter, let's say, came out of the darkness. Yeah, I didn't know what to do. I've been thinking about it for a long time, but apparently it was not a good idea. But I took his gun. I was trying to take it from him. Apparently it was not enough. Yeah, just for telling the stories. Yeah, for telling the stories. Here you got the answers, but I see that your answers are correct. So really good use of past continuous. Perfect. And right now you have to match. We've got two sentences. Yeah, with this, and you should match the letter with the number. Yeah, so that it makes sense. So which use matches, let's say, the best the sentence? If you could tell me which is a good one. Yeah, so last night at 6 p.m. I was eating dinner. Is it background event of a story, or an action which was in progress at a stated time? Which one? This is kinda easy probably for for all of you, but we'll see. We'll see whether everyone will choose the right one. So 1A, so action in progress. So you say that last night at 6 p.m. I was eating dinner. So action which was in progress at a stated time in the past. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've chosen the order, on purpose, because it's much easier to match 1A and 2B. Yeah. Of course, I'm partly joking, but that's right. And the second one is about background events. So when I went to the office, some people were typing, so it's not necessarily important for the event, and some were talking on the phones. Yeah. But the most important is that the office. Yeah. This is the most important. Okay, and here you got the answers. And what is useful, here you've got the resources that you can use, I mean, after this webinar. So Grammar Wave Free, there are all possible things. And if you want to practice as much as possible, English Grammar in Use 4th edition. I really like this book. There is everything. So if you just only need practice to just write, then it's okay. What else? I will just send you the links so that you could practice it even more. The first one is about, revision of that what I've covered. And the second one is like YouTube video. For those of you who are Polish, I mean that most of you are, I think, from Poland. So in that case, you can, for example, watch also Rock Your English. He's a very nice YouTuber, Rock Your English, and he covered past continuous for sure. And I really like him, and I think that he's a good teacher as well. So I really encourage you to do so. Do you have any questions regarding this webinar? I don't know, maybe I should clarify something more, or I think that if you, let's say, will do all the exercises from it, there will be no problem in the usage of, of this specific tense. And in general, students don't have many problems with this one, yeah? I think it's not so complicated for most of them. And tip for me, if you know present continuous very well, then future continuous and past continuous wouldn't be very difficult to you, honestly. I mean, this is how I think in general. This is the way I teach. First, I start from present continuous, and if they know very well this tense, I then go to future continuous and past continuous. And thanks to that, 3 tenses are covered already, because they're very similar, and people don't very often don't teach these similarities. Yeah, and I don't know why. I think it's a bit stupid, but it doesn't matter right now. So, do you have any questions regarding the content? Or it was explained fairly enough, and everything is clear, and I don't know, maybe some questions to me? Okay, so if not, let me tell you what we did today. We covered past continuous. This tense is in, let's say, structure very similar to present continuous. The only thing that is changed is to be form that is in the past, and the usage, of course, so something in progress, in progress in a specific time in the past, mostly, and for background events, and for background events, and very often together with past simple. So long action, but interrupted by a short one. So that's mostly it, and I will run 2 poll questions to you. So the first one is there. Okay, and time for the second question. Okay, and for today, I thank you so much, and I hope to see you again soon. Next week, I've got webinar on future, so I think that some of you may benefit from that. So hope to see you again then. So thank you so much, and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.